Hello everyone, we are Team Build Vision and our SIS problem statement ID is SIS25038, which is titled as Blockchain Based Blue Carbon Registry and MRV System. Its theme is clean and green technology and its category is software, and our team ID is 96792. We are excited to present our solution focused on blue carbon ecosystem. So, under the Paris Agreement, India has taken a strong commitment to achieve net zero carbon emissions by 2070. But reducing carbon alone is not enough. We also need to absorb some carbon already, which is already in the atmosphere. So that's where the blue carbon comes in. Most people think that forests are the biggest carbon absorbers, but they are not really. The mangroves and sea grasses store up to 10 times more carbon per acre than the normal forest. They also protect coastlines from tsunamis, prevent erosion, and support the marine life. However, the local fishing communities and NGOs and Gram Panchayat who protect those blue carbons, who restore those blue carbons, rarely get recognition and financial support for their work. So, to solve this, the world using something called the carbon credit. So let's understand what are the carbon credit. Imagine if someone removes 1 ton of carbon from air, then they get a 1 carbon credit. Just so the companies who can't fully reduce their pollution can buy these credits to balance their emission. So if I am the company who is emitting 1 ton of carbon, then I have to buy a 1 carbon credit so that I can manage or fix my carbon emissions. So this is the carbon market, but it lacks some issues. It's the first issue is lack of transparency. It's often difficult to verify the credits are real or duplicated. Then there are also problems of middleman and delays because communities and NGOs doing the actual work rarely get into the picture. Then there are trust issues of corporates and investors because the system is prone to fraud and manipulation. So here our solution is to create a marketplace for these carbon credits so that the transactions of carbon credits can become the smooth. So, our solution ensures that the hard work of coastal communities in protecting mangroves, seagrasses, salt marshes is seen, verified, and financially rewarded. Using the drones and simple mobile app, these communities can easily record their restoration efforts, like planting mangroves, maintaining coastal vegetation. This data is uploaded into the trusted digital system which we are going to make, and where it's verified through the satellite checks and government approved method. Government will approve these data and then assign the carbon credits to these NGOs so that they can sell these carbon credits to other companies. So let's understand some components which are gonna make this system more easy and reliable. Blockchain is one component which will ensure the trust, no tampering, no double counting of the carbon credits. Then the smart contracts between the NGOs, Gram Panchayats, and the carbon credit sellers and companies are automated digital agreements which will run on their own. Then the tokenization of carbon credits. The tokenization of carbon credits means converting each carbon credit into a unique digital token, making it traceable, tradable, and fraud proof. So this were the overview and the introduction of the proposed system. So we are going to move into the technical slides further. Thank you.
Now let's get to the flow of our project. Predominantly there would be three types of people coming out to our website. First would be Gram Panchayats and NGOs. Second would be private companies. Third would be NCCR. So let's first assume I'm a company who need to lessen its carbon emissions cause of government mandates or CSR, company's social responsibility. Would I normally do is I would search an NGO, find an NGO, then the NGO would contact me. It's a tedious time taking process. So what we have done unique here is we have created an Amazon-like experience for the company. Company would come, pay money, get carbon credits and use them without much of a waiting period. Now which eases the interaction the company has with us. Now let's assume I'm an NGO. What would I do is I would require funding for a plantation restoration or of my projects. So I would list my project onto the website. The system would get this data and store it into the blockchain. And this data would be sent to the verification process of NCR. Once verified, the project would be listed onto a website's marketplace where companies can take a look and invest at their projects. Now suppose I'm NCCR, National Center for Coastal Research. What is my responsibility? My responsibility is to verify every plantation that comes onto the blockchain and approve them, whether the details filled by the plantation is right or not. Now our AI model would be helping the NCCR in doing so. We would be taking satellite data, analyzing this data, and giving NCCR an estimate of its given data is true or not, which now eases the work of the NCCR. Now each and every transaction process mentioned above is you done using smart contracts. Now what are smart contracts? Smart contracts are the contracts written with the help of code. What they do is kill the middleman. Suppose I want to get some work done by someone. The money which I would be giving to them after completion of work would be stored in the blockchain. When the person completes the work, smart contract code would acknowledge it instantly, after which the money would be transferred automatically. This ensures that the transaction would be trustful and safe. In our case, the transaction would be mostly carbon credits and sometimes money. Now let's come towards the feasibility and viability of a project. As we speak of now, there were already carbon markets existing, but in India there is lack of security and transparency. We would be using blockchain smart contracts. This enables security and automatic credits. The idea of ours fits perfectly with the India's NDCs and climate commitments. We already have stakeholders, NGOs, panchayats, corporates are ready to engage. Scalable. By starting from Sundarbans, we can make our way forward to the whole coastline of India. Our project fits perfectly with India's 2070 agreement of and coastal protection goals. A new explore market can be created in India through our project.
The world needs to fund climate actions, but the system is broken. It's slow, expensive, and often lacks trust. Our project fixes this with technology, creating a credible market for blue carbon, that is, carbon stored in mangroves and coastal ecosystems. On the impact side, our project accelerated India program towards net zero 2070. It restores mangroves and blue carbon ecosystem, boosting coastal climate strengthens transparency in carbon credit generation using blockchain, preventing greenwashing. And it creates a new green economy around carbon markets in India. On the benefit side, communities and NGOs earn direct revenue from restoration work. Corporates can meet their ESG and CSR goals with credible carbon offset. Government policies on climate and coastal protection gain stronger support. Investors and climate funds gain a trusted auditable market place for carbon credits create a sustainable, transparent, and scalable solution for India's climate future. We have seen the problem, the solution, and the real impacts it can create. But what does this all add up to? Let me now move to the conclusion. Our project is more than just technology. It is a scientific and community-driven framework to conserve and restore blue carbon ecosystems like mangroves, seagrasses, and salt marshes. As India works towards its net zero 2070 goal, biggest need is a strong system of monitoring, reporting, and verification, that is MRV system, with blockchain. We bring in trust, transparency, and decentralization, turning climate actions into something measurable and credible. The results are powerful. New income streams and fair opportunities for coastal communities and panchayats. Transparent and verifiable data for NGOs, researchers, and government agencies. A stronger role for India in the global carbon market, showcasing leadership in the blue carbon. This initiative is not just an environmental project, it is also a social and economic movement, empowering communities, restoring ecosystem, and accelerated climate goals. Thank you.
So let me guide us all through our project. This is prototype number one. In prototype number one, this is our landing page. Landing page is written in React.js and HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Tailwind, CSS. So okay, this site explains what are carbon credits, how is the flow of our website, etc. It is very user friendly. Once we go here to marketplace or get started, well, you can click either of that. You can connect your wallet from this. Your MetaMask wallet will be connected to this. Suppose I have to buy Sundarbans mangrove restoration. I want to buy carbon credits from this project. I would go to buy now. I would enter my name. Suppose I am on Reliance Ltd Limited. Reliance at gmail.com. And suppose I have to buy 5 of those carbon credits. It would be 77.50 cents or $50. So once I confirm buy, it would launch a query through the blockchain and make it buy. For now, we have not used Razorpay. We will be using Razorpay API. So suppose I'm a company, I can get carbon credit directly from this. Suppose I'm an NGO. If I'm an NGO, I want to register a project. If before registering a project, I would have to sign in non-governmental organization. Suppose I would use my own email, this password. I will have to verify if I'm a human, then sign in. Once signing, the load page will load up. These are the earlier projects of mine. Suppose I have to enter a new project, Surat Restoration. Sorry if spellings are wrong. Surat, and I will be using the hash data from this, which would later been use an API call. We wouldn't have to use a different app, different website for this. Since when we register a project, a gas token would be removed. 0.0002 Ethereum would be required to fill this data in our blockchain. Once I confirm the registration process, the registration data would be stored in the blockchain. Now, if you can see, this project has been approved. These four projects have been pending approval. So the one who will be approving these projects would be NCCR. So let's try logging into NCCR. NCCR would have its own wallet. So let's select NCCR. So in NCCR, I would NCCR Delhi. Suppose it's a Delhi branch. Gmail.com. Password. Verification done. Complete. See, I can see here 5 projects pending reviews and how many of them are approved and how many of them are rejected. So suppose I want to I want to approve Tamil Nadu coastal restoration. I would assign them around 1200 credits of carbon rate. So I do approve and mint. This will again launch in MetaMask because it also renders into blockchain. Once I confirm, approve project is approved successfully. So you can see Tamil Nadu is approved, reviewed. So if I go again into restoration, sign in again, I would see that Tamil Nadu Connect Wallet. Yes, Tamil Nadu is now approved. Also, ASDSA is approved. So whenever something is approved, it will be changing it right now. This is our marketplace. We can select on the basis of types of blue greens, mangroves, seagrasses, wetlands. All okay. This is our prototype number 1. We would be using Android apps in prototype number 2.
So here is our prototype for the verification model, which is for applying a verification check for the data provided by the NGOs. This model takes input data from the satellite, which is in .tif format. For example, this is the one of the type of .tif image which is scraped from the satellite dataset. So basically we are scraping two images from the satellite like this. One is before plantation project has begun and other is after the completion of that project. So here we can see that from these two input plots we get the output plot on which green part indicating growth and red part indicating the loss of vegetation area, and from this we can identify if the project is valid or not.